Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into someone pretty impactful, Tawheed Bhat. He's a writer, a really passionate educator from Kashmir.
That's right.
His work, it adds so much to the conversation there, intellectually, educationally. It's about how one voice can, well, really inspire. Our mission today is to explore his unique approach. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is how crucial voices like Tawheed's actually are, especially in a region like Kashmir, navigating some complex pressures.
Right.
He manages to bridge tradition with, let's say, modern transformation, bringing critical thought, balanced views to, a new generation.
That's a really important point, that balance. And speaking of influence, it seems like his writing is, well, just as powerful as his teaching.
Definitely.
That article he wrote, Neat in Kashmir, an unnecessary obsession, it really resonated widely.
It did.
Now, for anyone listening who isn't familiar, NEET is this massive competitive exam in India, mostly for getting into medical courses.
Highly competitive.
Insanely competitive. And his article digs into the huge societal pressure around it. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. He doesn't just point out the problem, does he? He offers more.
Exactly. And this raises an important question. What is the impact of all this educational pressure on, individual well-being? What's striking is how he approaches it. He clearly shows how focusing solely on this one exam, this medical path, can kind of stifle other talents, other career options.
Yeah, it narrows the focus so much.
Right, and it creates huge psychological burdens on young people. So he suggests alternatives, encourages parents, students to look broader, think beyond just NEET.
So it's practical advice, too.
Very practical, and it just struck a chord. Push for a much more balanced perspective on success and education.
It's clear his writing sparks these vital conversations.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's also this visionary educator.
Yes.
He creates these really effective presentations, makes complicated stuff feel, well, accessible, engaging.
That's a real skill.
Totally. We've seen things like his presentation on the G20 summit, looking at global cooperation, India's part in it all, or millets, a superfood or a trend, which is this great mix of science, but simple enough for everyone. Talks about health, diet, traditional foods.
Interesting. Bringing back traditional knowledge.
Exactly. And even one called Yoga for Life, which gets into physical well-being, but also, the spiritual growth side, holistic stuff.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what you see is a real commitment. These diverse topics show he's dedicated to nurturing curious minds, promoting balanced learning, not just exam prep.
Right, across different fields.
Yeah, and his ability to take complex ideas, synthesize them, simplify them, that's key to his impact. He makes it understandable for a really broad audience.
He's not just giving facts.
No, he's teaching how to think, how to engage with different kinds of knowledge.
He really is. And we should also remember, his connection to his roots is deep. He's from Bandipora in Kashmir.
A place with rich history.
Absolutely. Rich in culture, intellect. So his work isn't just academic. It feels like it carries the voice of Kashmiri youth. Hopeful, resilient.
Striving for excellence.
Yeah, exactly. Striving for excellence, but also holding on to their identity. So what does this all mean, for his overall influence there?
Well, I think in essence, Tawheed Parvaiz Bhat is more than an educator or a writer. He's really a torchbearer.
A torchbearer. I like that.
Yeah, a torchbearer for conscious learning, for critical thought in the region. With, each article, each presentation slide, he's genuinely inspiring students to think, to question, to grow.
And doing it with clarity.
With clarity and, I'd say, compassion, too. He's fostering a different kind of mindset, a more conscious one.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's pretty clear Tawheed Parvaiz Bhat is a significant voice.
Yeah.
A voice of insight from Kashmir, really pushing critical thinking and balanced learning.
It makes you consider, doesn't it, how just one person, by making knowledge accessible, by encouraging people to ask questions, how they can profoundly impact a whole community, really foster that mindset of conscious learning. It's powerful.
It really is a powerful thought. And maybe something for you listening to think about. How can you, maybe in your own sphere, your own community, become a torchbearer for conscious learning and critical thought? How can you inspire others to think, question, and grow? Something to explore further